This presentation is being given to fulfill the requirements for the final project for Business 343, Employee and Labor Relations. Next. My name is Ross Sinclair. I'm a senior at Liberty University Online. I expect to graduate in May of 2017 with a Bachelor of Science in Business General. I work for Williams Pipeline. I'm the manager of the Pipeline Control Group, and I have responsibilities for the 24/7 operation of the control room for the Transco, Gulfstream, Cardinal, and Pine Needle pipelines. We deliver about 50% of the natural gas that's consumed in New York City every day. We also deliver gas to Columbia Gas Distribution of Virginia, who delivers gas to the city of Lynchburg, which is where Liberty is located. So I'm one of the people that helps keep folks at Liberty warm during the winter. The information that I've learned during course 343 I feel like will help me to be a better manager and a better leader of people. Next. We'll be discussing case 3, which is the safety glove discharge with just cause. I'll be taking the role of the labor relations manager, and I'll be answering the question, as a person responsible for labor relations at Barrera Recycling Company, articulate a case to support your contention that there was just cause for the discharge of Aaron McNamara. I'll be reviewing the case description, providing a position and rationale, answering the question, supporting that answer, and developing an action plan and drawing a conclusion. Next. Rafael Gomez was the general manager for Barrera Recycling Company at their Los Angeles reclamation facility. Erin McNamara was an employee of Barrera. She had 20 years experience and was represented by Local 37 of the United Paperworkers International Union. Ms. McNamara transferred from the Long Beach facility in January to the Los Angeles facility. Mr. Gomez addressed several performance issues of Ms. McNamara over the ensuing months. These included repeated instances of sleeping during safety meetings and failure to wear personal protective equipment or PPE. Those include items such as gloves, safety glasses, and a hard hat. Next. In October, Ms. McNamara received a 3-day suspension for disciplinary reasons. The disciplinary warning said, should you violate any Barrera rules or regulations during the next 12 months, you will immediately be discharged from Barrera employment. On December the 9th, Mr. Gomez observed that Ms. McNamara was sorting paper, tin, and bottles while not wearing her personal protective equipment. Mr. Gomez decided that discipline was necessary and he terminated her employment. Local 37 filed a grievance protesting the discharge on grounds that the company did not have just cause. Next. It's my position that the company did have just cause for terminating Ms. McNamara. An employer wants to be able to terminate employees who have substandard performance, according to Bud. Additionally, the employment at will doctrine says that employees can be discharged at any time for any reason, for cause, no cause, or even for cause not more or morally wrong. Additionally, all 7 tests for the just cause were met. She was given advanced warning and the consequences. The standard was stated to her regarding her performance. The violation was investigated. It was investigated fairly. The violation was observed by others and by Mr. Gomez himself. The discipline did not discriminate against her, and the discipline was reasonable given her prior actions and lack of response to counseling. Ms. McNamara had been counseled regarding the use of personal protective equipment and had received notice of the consequences. The decision to terminate her was made based on objective, job-related criteria. Ms. McNamara failed to correct the deficiencies and demonstrated a blatant disregard for safety by not wearing the safety gloves. Furthermore, her actions set a poor example for other Barrera employees. Therefore, the termination was necessary to maintain workplace discipline and preserve the proper safety culture for Barrera Recycling Company. Next. In answering the question as whether or not there was just cause, Ms. McNamara was a poor performer at Barrera Recycling. She had a history of repeated instances of sleeping during safety meetings and failure to wear personal protective equipment. She'd received counseling regarding the use of that personal protective equipment. She received written notice and a 3-day suspension related to personal protective equipment. Even after the warning and suspension, Ms. McNamara demonstrated a disregard for safety rules by not wearing safety gloves in the performance of her assigned duties. And finally, industry documentation supports termination for unacceptable actions. Those include safety violations. Next. Barrera Recycling has a legal and a moral obligation to protect its employees. One of the reasons is that violations of rules and procedures are commonly identified as important causal factors in workplace accidents. Additionally, OSHA requires that employers do an assessment of workplaces to determine if the need for personal protective equipment is necessary. Barrera had done that and had identified that there was a need for employees to wear personal protective equipment. In addition, Barrera believes that all employees are created in the image of God, therefore they have worth and value, and a part of that means that they need to be protected. And so Barrera has a moral obligation to protect its employees as well. Next. The action plan consists of providing the union with documentation regarding the just cause and rationale for the termination of Ms. McNamara. Additionally, they provide the union with the company's responsibility to provide a safe work environment. And Mr. Gomez will be available to provide testimony regarding his firsthand observations of Ms. McNamara's violations. Next. In conclusion, Barrera Recycling Company has a legal and moral obligation to ensure a safe workplace for its employees. Therefore, policies and procedures have been established to fulfill that obligation. Allowing an employee to violate those safety procedures without consequences undermines the safety culture of the organization. Co-workers may conclude that the company does not take safety seriously. Even after receiving counseling regarding her violations, Ms. McNamara failed to modify her behavior. Therefore, her termination was justified because her actions put herself and the organization at risk for suffering personal injury. Next. This is a list of the references that were utilized in the preparation of this presentation. Thank you for your time.